Thank you for reading my blog and landing to this video. So today I'm going to talk about agent card. What exactly agent card is and why it is so important. Okay. But before diving deeper into agent card, let's understand what agent is. And I'm pretty much sure that you might be already understanding or you have good understanding of agent or AI agent, but still let me reiterate it. So agent is nothing but a software entity which performs tasks autonomously on behalf of user or other program. Okay. Or in another way, if I say what exactly an AI agent is, so AI agent is again a software entity which perceives the environment and think and act. Think and act means do the decision making and take action. Now, what does it mean by perceiving the environment? So, perceiving the environment means whenever there is a change in the environment, for example, log file, or there is a video feed, there is a audio feed, and in that, if there is a change, then that is sensed by AI agent and it can make certain decisions and can take action. So with this definition, we are pretty much kind of clear that what exactly an agent does. But do we create one agent for all the tasks, or can we create an agent? We can create, but that is not going to be a very efficient way of building an agent. Okay, it will be like building a monolith application which is doing everything. Okay, but in real world, we create agent with a specific skill and specific capability. For example, we human also have developed certain skill. Okay, and we perform tasks utilizing that skill, right? It may happen that we may have two or three skills and we can perform two or three different kind of tasks, right? Because we have different skills, but we cannot perform task around any skill set, right? So similarly, we build agent with a certain skill set and capability. Okay, and why does it why do we need that? Because any agent, okay, who is going to consume this agent, or any client application who is going to consume this agent must understand what is the skills and capability of this agent. We'll understand it going forward, like how does it work, all right? So, but you understand that, for example, okay, if we take an analogy of agentic travel application, okay, which can book your flight tickets automatically, hotel booking automatically with the best price offered or available. So we can visualize it as a three different agents or even more agents. Okay, so one agent we can say that travel agent, which will be responsible for booking flights. Another agent as hotel agent, which will be responsible for reserving a hotel. Okay, we can think of one finance agent, which will be responsible for checking the budget and price comparison, etc. Right? Now, if these three agents have to talk to each other to make the reservation or the travel booking, which is a final outcome, or a common goal, okay, of all these agents, all right, then all these agents need to talk to each other if they are going to achieve that goal, right? But how will they talk to each other? There comes that to understanding, first of all, understanding the skills and capability of every agent. Okay, so suppose one agent is going to talk to another agent, so it must understand what exactly is the skill and capabilities, and will that agent be able to fulfill the task which other agent wants from the other agent. Okay, so to understand this, either we can go and do some kind of hard coded information in the agent definition, that these are the tools, these are the agents which you need to consume for these kind of skills and capabilities, but that is not a feasible way, right? We must build a certain mechanism so that every agent should be or must be uh, auto discoverable or should be discoverable by other agents or consumer or client. Okay, uh, so that must be dynamically. Suppose today I have my agent is has having one capability, and tomorrow I am changing that capability. So until unless it is not discoverable, that particular capability will not be known to anyone else, right? So whoever is going to consume that agent, when I'm saying consume the agent means is sending a task to a task for completion, then that particular agent, okay, should be discoverable. And there comes the agent card, because agent card basically does nothing but it has the description of that agent, what exactly that agent does, means skills, what are the capabilities, how can you connect to that agent or consume that agent or send a task request to that agent, what kind of authentication mechanism you will use to connect to that agent. Okay, so all these things are defined in the agent card. You can think of agent card as a as a open API specification for REST API, for example. Okay, so open API spec or WSDL file for SOAP based web services, because that is also a kind of file which describes each and everything, and that WSDL file makes the SOAP web service discoverable, right? So similarly, agent card is something which makes agent discoverable, okay, or agent discovery possible, so that any other agent can go through the skills and capabilities of the other agent and consume it. So we'll see how it works. Okay, so here if you see, user is using one query, right, to the client agent, and client agent has to fulfill the ultimate goal, okay, or fulfill the query of the user. Now that has become a common goal. Now in order to complete that goal, the client agent must call 2 3 other agents, okay, to fulfill that query or that particular task. So how will it do? It is going to make a card agent card retrieval from A to A server or from a particular agent, and it will do via this specific URI path, that is dot well known slash agent card dot JSON. Now this particular agent card will return the capability and skills of the server side of agent or the other agent, and then if that skills and capability is useful, or the client agent makes sense of that yes, this particular skills I am looking for, then it will send the task request to that agent. Then the other agent will process the task, will return the response, and job done, right? So you can understand how this agent how the agent card basically is going to make use of it, right? I mean, basically how the agent card is so much helpful here. Now let's understand what exactly is defined in agent card.json, right? So if you see, these are the segments, but these are not limited to You can go through the whole schema which is available, and it has been created by uh, Google. Okay, and and I have mentioned that in my blog as well, that a2aprotocol.org. Okay, you can go through the whole specification. You can add more and more segment as per your need, but this at high level, these are the key segments which will be there in agent card. One is URL. So URL is basically, it defines the URL where your agent is. How will you, I mean, using this URL, you can connect to the agent for which this agent card is being exposed. Okay. Then document URL is basically where you have more details about the agent or user, manual guide, etc. Okay. Then capabilities, whether this agent can provide streaming capability or notification capability. So this segment or this section will define that. Okay. Then authentication, what kind of authentication is needed in order to send the task request to this agent, or connect to this agent and send the task request to this agent. Okay. Then default input mode or default output mode, whether it is going to be text mode or audio mode or data mode, what exactly will be the mode. Okay. Then skills are very important in terms of what exactly the agent can do, whether it can book a flight ticket, whether it can book a hotel. So these kind of details are provided in the skill section. Okay. So let's see one sample agent card. How does it look like? So if you see here, the first line URL. So this is where you will connect to your connect to this agent. Okay. Then the other one is more detailed description about the agent, the user guide, etc. Then capabilities, whether streaming is available, whether push notification is available. Then what is the authentication type? For example, bearer token we need to send to authenticate, or it will be something else. Okay. Maybe API key based, sorry, the key based authentication, or something else can be there, right? Then default input mode or default output mode, whether it is going to be text, data, audio. Then what is the skill? This part, if you see, this pretty much you can say very important basically. Okay. To utilize the agent, because this is the skill. If the consumer agent or client agent is interested in hotel booking, it will get this information from here. Okay. And if it is useful, then we'll utilize this agent for performing the hotel reservation, right? So if you see this, it has description, tags, input mode, output mode, example. All right. Similarly, you can add more and more capabilities to the agent. As I said, we human can have more than 2 skills, 3 skills. Okay. So similarly, one agent also can have multiple skills, right? So all these things will be defined here, or it can have one single skill also. So that's all. Now I'll demonstrate this agent card behavior using MuleSoft. So MuleSoft basically is a low code no code tool, and let's see. MuleSoft provides A2A connector, which can be used for agent to agent integration, or it can be used to expose an agent as well. So I have used task listener connector here to mimic an agent basically, because I am not going to implement the full-fledged agent here. Rather, my intention here is to just demonstrate how agent card feature works here. Okay, how an agent can expose agent card, which can be utilized by other agent or any consumer client for understanding the agent capability and agent skills. Okay, so simply I have dragged this connector and dropped here. Now if we'll click on this to see the configuration, so this is the configuration name, connector configuration, then response, etc. Now the key part is the configuration part, the connector configuration part. Okay, so let's see this. Now if you see the A2A server configuration, so we have defined agent path. Remember this, support hyphen agent. Okay, this we will use to retrieve the agent card. Now in agent card there is a text box where I have defined the JSON file representing the specific agent card. Okay, it has everything mentioned in this. What is the skill, what is the capability, the transport, all these things is defined in this. Okay, now you can do one more thing. You can save this file as a JSON file and give that path here. Okay, that will also work. Now let's see the HTTP listener configuration, because this particular listener must listen to a particular port. So this is the default port which I have used, 8081. Okay, so it's a very straightforward configuration. All right. Now we will execute this program and see how can we retrieve the agent card. So by the time it is starting, let me show you something. So I'll just clear this response, and if you see, as I'm running it on HTTP port on localhost, and port is going to be 8081, and the path, agent path which I have defined is support agent. But what is this dot well known slash agent card dot JSON? So you can understand or think it like as a standard way to ask for agent card from this program. Okay, so MuleSoft connector understands what exactly you are asking for if you call if you send request using this dot well known slash agent hyphen card dot JSON. Okay, so let's see. I think it has started. Yeah, it has started. So now I'll just send this request, and here you go. If you see here, now if you see clearly, let me just little bit maximize it. So this particular agent card contains skill and capabilities, okay, URL, etc. So I have used the bare minimum segments which are absolutely needed in this agent card, but there is a there is a full schema which you can follow and add more and more details to this agent card. Okay, so now what I'm going to do next is I will deploy this particular agent on Cloud Hub, and I will show it to you how it works. Now I have deployed this agent on Cloud Hub, and if you see, this is the URL. Okay, and the same URL I am going to utilize here in my Cloud Hub deployed URL I will use. Okay, and I will call this again, and if you see, I have retrieved the same agent card using the Cloud Hub deployed code. Okay, so this is how you will retrieve the agent card. or any agent or any client which wants to know what is the capability of this agent, what are the skills of this agent. So it will retrieve the agent card first, and then accordingly, if it is useful agent, the communication will happen, or that particular agent or client application will make use of this agent. Okay, so this is how it is very much useful in A to A communication especially.